Hey everyone, it's me. I'm Andrew. We have a very special show, and to introduce it, I have my friend Kyle here. Say hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle. That was not funny. Hi, it's me,
It
Kyle.
gets me. I love that joke. It never gets old. Kyle, if you don't know, is the creator of Quest Friends. Him and his team over there have been doing that show for a while. If you haven't checked it out, congrats. This is your opportunity. We're going to play you an episode of it. So, Kyle, I do think, so the thing that I think that like most needs to be understood going into this episode, and correct me if I'm wrong, is what the fuck's a Necromon?
I was hoping you were going to ask this because, that is the only thing that. So, the current campaign we're doing, Quest Friends Hereafter, takes place in a world where the realm of the dead is only a plane ride of way. So, you've got ghosts and ghouls, and in this case, liches and shadows, and then, people who are alive and haven't died yet. I also, for some reason, got really obsessed with this idea of adding basically Pokemon. For some reason, I was like, I want to do a Pokemon arc. And I want to do it really, really badly. And so it was going to be just the first arc, so I was like, I don't know, we got these things called Necromon. They're like Pokemon, but ghosty. But only sometimes. Sometimes they're just like a book.
Yeah.
So it's essentially Pokemon, but ghost-themed, if we remember to make them ghost-themed. And in this episode, you will hear that some of them, I believe none of them are ghost-themed. I remember two off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And
there's definitely that's spoilers.
Yeah.
You'll see it soon.
Yeah.
But there are some just kind of very... It feels like the Pokemon from like Gen 4 or 5 where they started to run out of ideas and they're just looking around the room and they're like, lamppost Pokemon.
You say that, but Gen 1 has Mr. Mime, which
true.
is just a dude. You have Rattata, which is rat but purple.
I believe Mr. Mime's canonically Ash's dad, right? That's been established officially. Think about it, always with his mom.
It's closer to canon than I would want it to be. Would I call it canon? No. Would I call it a stretch? No.
Well, what you're going to listen to is a great introduction to how did this episode come back? This is just kind of a one-off adventure, right? With some guests.
Yeah, so this is part 1 of 3 because each adventure, I call them, is typically 1 to 4 episodes long. Try to treat them like an episode of a cartoon. Because that was our inspiration for Hereafter, things like Gravity Falls. And for this one, we had some guest stars in that played essentially the villains of the overall adventure. And so what you're about to listen to is basically a standalone prologue, which is just introducing our villains, what are they up to, who are they, and then what interests them in such a way that they get engaged with our main characters later on. So it is standalone, but it's setting up antagonists. It's awful, awful people and an intern.
The other thing I want to mention is we recently, kind of recently at this point, recorded a pretty fun little bonus episode with, I think it was you, me, Melinda, and Ian?
I think so. I think there were 4 of us. If there end up being 5 of us, I'm gonna be very embarrassed.
I don't remember. Was it Matt or was it Ian? I don't remember. It was either me and either Matt, Melinda, Deanna, or Ian. So very, very clear.
It was people from your show.
It was people
but not all of them.
Not all of them.
But some of them.
We played a fun game called One Page Party. She said maybe is going up sometime.
It should be around summer. I do a small break in between each of the season's arcs, which is like a season of a TV show. And I especially need a break because I'm doing a musical episode and I need to write all the music. So I'm throwing in a bunch of bonus episodes during the break. And that's one of them. It's going to be during pilot week as I test out basically a bunch of podcast ideas I've had.
I've written like 3 accompaniments for like all of Looters, and I feel like that was like too much for me. I can't imagine a musical episode.
Yeah. And our last song was 4 songs in 1.
Oh boy.
That was a mistake. The next one is based on NSYNC, so I have to listen to a lot of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
I love NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. When I was a teenager, I was way too cool for it, but now as an adult, I'm like, whatever.
They've got a vibe. Have you ever seen the Pixar movie Turning Red?
No, I haven't. It's like the one I haven't seen.
one of the big plot points is basically one of those boy bands, and they have like 3 custom songs. I'll be honest, they're all real good. They're all real good
It's such a
Backstreet
formula.
Boys NSYNC. Yeah, and they nail it. They nail it real hard.
Sick. Well, we should probably get moving on to our episode. Before we go in, what's the name of your favorite Necromon?
I'm not gonna say Sugandis. As much as I'd wanna set that up. We're gonna go with Woo Blue.
How do you spell that?
You just put in a woo and you put in a blue and you waggle your arms around like you're a wacky wavy inflatable guy with a ram's head.
Perfect. Without further ado, the Lich's Shadow.
All right, cool.
It's the intro music.
That's exactly. You nailed it.
It sounds like that, right?
Hello, guests and ghouls, and welcome to Quest Friends Hereafter, an improvised fiction podcast using the role-playing system Under the Neighborhood. I'm Kyle, he, him, and today I, 2 of my best friends, and 2 new best friends,
Kyle, no.
and some dice are going to tell you a story about an awful lich and her shadow.
My name's Emily, my pronouns are they, them, and I play Irene Hawthorne, she, her, the Necromon trainer who overextends.
I am Tom, he, him. I play Hilda Mishkevich, she, her pronouns, who is the guardian who pulls pranks and escapes.
Hello, my name is Hannah, Chief Hannes, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing Grumbo, the opportunist who was killed but lived. And Grumbo's pronouns, she, her.
Okay, I've been waiting on Grumbo. I defaulted to he, but I never really knew.
I didn't know till right now.
One thing before we introduce our other guests, since Grumbo is an opportunist, you have a move called Loaded Dice.
Yeah.
Where you roll 2d6 and add your slick and save the result. So could you do that just quickly?
Absolutely. That is 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 3 is 12.
All right, so you get to hold on to a full success that at one point during the session you can give anyone at any time. And you might be giving it to our last person here today.
Hello, I am Laura Page Turner, she, her, and I will be playing Elizabeth Thorne, she, her, the mage who can't feel pain.
Okay, so normally at this point we would do a slice of life complication where we introduce a mundane complication that will spiral into disaster. However, as we'll learn over the course of this session, our parties here might have conflicts of interest where they might be more keen on having certain characters have complications than other ones. So instead of that, I want everyone to design a Necromon for me. So what I'm going to need from you is a name, an element, a signature stat, so heart, they're very heartful, books, they're very
bookful.
Fierce, they're very fierceful, and slick, they're very slickful. And then finally, just give me like a vague appearance. Who wants to go first with their mon?
I have one.
Yeah, hit me.
This Necromon is a little paper towel holder that hops around.
On like the little springy part?
Maybe.
Okay.
And, its name is Towel backwards.
Towel, so Lawat.
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 What?
All right, well, if Lawat appears...
Please, it has to have that voice. That's the only voice I'll accept for it. Hannah's.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
That one goes to Hannah. I was going to assign these as they appeared, but Hannah... British voice. And then what is Lawat's element and stat?
Waste disposal.
I'm going to give it trash, because trash is a type that's appeared.
And its signature stat is books.
Because paper?
Yes. That's why, and not because that was the first stat that I thought of.
My favorite part is that you could have waited for 3 other people to volunteer their Mon. You went out of your way to be like, I'll go right now.
Well, I saw the box and I was like, yes, paper towel holder, that is the thing. But then I realized that there were other stuff, but I had already thought of that. And
You're the person who makes the keychain Pokemon.
Anyway,
Yeah, what's your sync Pokemon for us, Tom? Or is it soap?
no, I have a whole plan here. My Necromon is Tiki Walks, because that backwards will be Ikit Claw.
Okay.
Tiki Walks is a rat with an eye patch and a gun.
All right, and I think it would be Walk Tiki.
All right, excellent. Its element can be science or gun.
I like gun. We're putting in the element of gun because it is a rat with a gun.
I don't want to play that one because I can't remember the name.
And then what stat is
Slick.
It's a slick rat with an eye patch and a gun.
That's right.
All right, what are our other 2?
So imagine like a dusty cloud that has like 2 eyes and like a big tongue just like hanging out, right? But it's like past the body because the cloud is floating.
Yeah.
His name is Murdrum, which is Murdrum backwards. I'm pro palindrome. Sorry about it. You get named Hannah and you don't really get a choice. I think the element is nasty and the stat is slick.
It's just a nasty Mon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got that big tongue. It can be various different types of nasty.
Yeah, I'm like a mix of I wanted it to have like a pig pen vibe where it's just like kind of dirt.
Like it might not be the cloud. It might be something underneath the cloud, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
All right, so we've got our paper towel, our rat with an eye patch and a gun, and our nasty cloud. What's the final Mon?
The final Mon is named Delphini.
Delphini.
Imagine, if you will, a very large sturgeon that has been pulled up onto land and is flopping around wildly.
Okay.
Except this one's element is blood, so it is sort of creating its own little blood pool every time it flops and flaps and floops about.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
It's deeply upsetting.
Oh my god.
Heart. Needless to say.
In that case, we need to design 2 more things. So, we're going to have our Ghostbuster Hunter characters, but I want them to have 2 assistants. And so I want to figure out who those characters are now, but in this time, there are 4 things that I need each of you to give me twice. A name, pronouns, a signature stat, and then a role on this production. Like, are they producer? Are they videographer? Are they maker of location looking creepier? Are they like social media manager? You're only going to have 2 members of your team, so you got to pick carefully. Let's start with Tom's character, and I'll let you start, Tom, and choose one of the 4.
This is too much power. I'm choosing the signature stat, heart.
All right, so Tom's character is Heart. So whoever this NPC is, even though they work for 2 shitheads, they're going to be relatively good with people. Probably a nice person, but you don't have to be to have good heart. Okay, someone give me a name, pronouns, or a position.
HR.
HR for this team of 4 people. Not public relations, HR specifically.
I mean, they probably need it.
Yeah, true.
God, the temptation to just say they go by HR. That's their name also.
That's funny.
HR Geiger over here.
All right, what are HR Geiger's pronouns, Emily?
I deeply want this clip out of context.
I'm getting, I think, he, him vibes.
Okay. HR, he, him, the HR person for this team of 4. Emily's character, I'm going to let you start again. Choose a stat, a name, a position, or a pronoun set.
I want to be some type of intern. Maybe intern to HR.
You have HR, intern to HR, and talent. Those are the only roles.
I feel like there's a bit of a bloated bureaucracy in this production.
Look, our team is really, really messy.
Yeah, maybe we're just like, we just don't want anyone to ever ask us for anything or have consequences for us. So our only support is HR.
I will say their commitment to a solid HR team will impress Seth Keyhole, vice principal of Valley Middle School. All right, the intern to HR. Someone give me name, pronouns, or stat.
Books.
He/they.
Gleep George.
Yeah, it fucking is.
Gleep George.
Is it hyphenated like it's French? Like Jean-Luc?
It is now.
It's a family babe.
Yeah, so I think at this point, we're ready to just get straight into the session because since this is happening at the same time as Kike and Sparky's Adventures in the Titanic, check out last episode, Fright at the Museum, for that. I don't have to tell you what happened since last time because it's happening at the same time and you've got no fucking clue. So I don't like describing things like they're a camera because we're using the spirit of imagination. We don't need to be bound by a camera, except for right now. Because right now, I want you listening to imagine, you know, one of those found footage films, like the Blair Witch Project kind of thing, you know, the shaky handy cam thing. And this camera's like in what looks like it's a very dark blue. If you were observant, you would notice actually that it's a perfectly sunny day outside in beautiful Puerto Ballenas, which is a wonderful resort town right on the western coast of, we never named the country that the valley is in, so this country. But it's made to be all dark. There's like the, you know, grim outline of the like the foggy outline, the shaky camera, and in the distance we see this hulking massive creature, this giant mammal that looks like a fish, a giant whale on two humanoid legs, just two very buff man legs, which are not adjusted to be the size of the whale. They're just man legs on a full whale. And the whale, just a little pitter-patter with its bare feet, looks around. Hey girl? Hey girl? And then we just, there's a shot of magic. And there's a go, hey girl? Hey girl? And it starts pitter-pattering with its little feet off into the distance. And that's when we see the two hosts of this show, or at the very least one of them, enter the frame.
Oh, this is my cue, isn't it?
This is. Is that in character?
It is now. Elizabeth Thorne steps in front of the camera as Leg Gay trundles off and presents herself in center frame, as she is very adept at doing. I will go ahead and describe what she looks like. She looks kind of like a desiccated corpse, like you did take a dead lady and you stuck her in a salt mine for 100 years, but then she got up and she put on some very good makeup and straightened her hair and wore a cool little sparkly robe, which you all in the call can see, but you at home have to use your special imaginations for.
Oh. You stepped in frame majestically. We can see the beautiful, like, powerful, like, blue-white fog emerging from, like, underneath the bottom of your robe. It's hard to tell if this is just naturally you or if this is part of the showmanship.
Naturally me is showmanship. Such is my nature. Well, everybody, as you can see, the Leg Gay is making its exit, so it is about time for us to get into hot pursuit. So if we could all hop into the van, friends.
And does the camera just turn over and there's just a van there?
There is a van there because I do have designated drivers, so I do just have a reliable means of transportation. A necrotech-powered van, imagine if you will, like a news van made out of bones, whose engine compartment is also glowing bright blue.
That's so deeply upsetting. Like, are the wheels bone?
Well, no, they got to be a little. Need to have a little give. So the wheels are cartilage.
Yeah, okay, cartilage. That's what I was like. Yeah, cartilage. Okay, perfect.
That solves it.
All right, so yeah, you elegantly rush into the van, and then the camera is just like frantically getting after you. You can almost sense that this camera person, whoever it is, knows that if they don't get in fast enough, you will just leave them behind.
From behind the camera, heavy breathing. So you guys said that now that I have my license, I could drive maybe the next time? Is that still like a thing?
Next time, yes. Next time. Once you've earned our trust.
Oh, so I thought maybe when the last time this was the next time. I guess not, though.
Nope, in the back with you.
From the back seat, who has been waiting there all along. It's okay, Gleep George. You're doing fine. Stay the course.
Grumbo, I'm taking shotgun.
So HR and intern to HR sit in the back, and the camera focuses on someone else who gets in behind the wheel.
Grumbo gets in behind the wheel and looks back at Gleep George and with just piercing gaze just goes, someday. And then you can see, does a quick glance to make sure that Elizabeth's seatbelt is buckled and then slams the accelerator, absolutely peels out. You can see from where the camera is that the person in the front seat, now her name is Grumbo, but she's definitely still hot. I'll let you figure out what that means to you.
Yes, for me, the name Grumbo is hot.
Just oozing sex appeal with Grumbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Half of Grumbo's face dissolves into shadow and streams behind her as she peels out of this parking lot and the wind hits her hair. And, where are we all going?
So cool.
Grumbo, follow that Necromon.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
We're going to, we're gonna get it. Elizabeth Thorne slams open the glove compartment button. You know the button that opens the glove compartment?
The one that's made out of bone?
The one that is made out of bone. And inside the bone glove compartment, there is a actually very nicely organized little Rolodex of cards. And she reaches in and she sort of flips through them with her delicate little fingers and pulls one out and says, Frisador. Ice, I think, will be beneficial in this instance. And she sort of holds the card up dramatically in front of the camera, and her other hand sort of begins to glisten with ice crystals as the magic sort of pours through her in preparation.
And it's important to note that this is a Necromon card specifically that's being pulled out.
It is.
So I need each of you to roll me something. Grumbo, you're gonna roll me take action to go fast, so that's fierce. And then Elizabeth, what are you trying to do with the ice magic?
I am going to try to basically encase the legs of this leg A to, get it to stop so that I can get it.
I would say that's probably slick because you're trying to trap it rather than just hurt it. So yeah, roll me cast magic, which is a basic move that only the mage has access to.
It's worth noting this is going to be twice as effective as whatever it should be.
Oh, you're using the move
Magnified magic.
Double the effect of a different move being made by your PC. This move must be used before rolling. All right, each of you roll, and then Hannah, tell me your result first, and then Laura, tell me your result.
I got a 13 on fierce.
Shit.
Wowzers.
You just tear down. You see a couple of people just jump out of the way as you're speeding down the Malacone.
Gleep George is gonna edit it later. It's fine.
The Legate, it's pitter-pattering as fast as it can, but its very massive body is quickly coming into frame. And that's when you cast your spell.
I cast at an 8. An 8.
Ooh, a mixed success. You fire magic mostly as you intended, but with one complication. And what I'm gonna say is because your effect is doubled, choose 2 drawbacks.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and choose that in addition to the intended target, the magic will affect someone or something else as well, because I don't care about collateral damage. And I am also going to harm myself or get exhausted in the process. I take -1 forward. However, because I don't feel pain, I can just ignore that for a little while.
Yeah, you can just ignore that. So the barbs of the ice crinkle as they get stuck in your arm a little bit, but you're so caught in the thrill, as is everybody currently on the Malacone. The whole thing is encased in ice, but Grumble, you're such a good driver that even as the car skids, you expertly get it to a stop right in front of the Legge, which has been fully encased in ice.
I don't even need my net this time.
Brilliant work, Grumbo, as always.
The ice helped me go fast.
Now let's get out there and catch this thing. I mean, it's already caught, but let's figure out how to get it into the van.
Intern,
Yes.
we're getting it into the van.
When you say we,
I mean, intern is getting it into the van.
Go ahead, Gleep George. Do your duty.
they stare into the distance for a second, just take a beat, make their way out of the van, slipping on the ice.
Yes, no, I'm sure we have all the time in the world.
Sleep George is going to throw himself upon the Necromon.
Which, by the way, just so you know for future reference, Laura, is the muscles element.
Ooh.
An attempt to gain traction on the ice with his little feet, trying to pull it into the van.
You just stand there trying really, really hard to move the giant mon, but you're not getting anywhere. It's gonna take a while.
They're trying so hard.
Trying so hard.
They need this on their resume.
Even with this cheap B-movie filter, the icy Legge still shines against the winter sun. It is freezing to the touch. When the tongue gets stuck to a pole, an icy pole? That's just your entire body.
No.
As you're trying to push back.
Lift with your legs, Gleep George!
I'm pushing with my everything. Gleep George will take off his shoes to attempt to gain better traction, regret it,
I cannot imagine that working.
and put them back on.
Oh, you can't put them back on. You're stuck.
No!
Grumbo is definitely taking every opportunity to say to Elizabeth,
Hey, look at this guy. I think their feet are gonna be grippier than shoes.
Does anybody have some salt or sand or cat litter?
If you're looking for grit, you're supposed to look within.
I don't have cat litter or sand or salt within. I don't have grit within. I'm so tired.
I don't know how you're expecting to get college credit for just asking everyone else to solve your problems for you.
I mean, I'm reasonably sure I do have a litter elemental in here somewhere. I just don't think that would play for the camera, so
ew.
it just doesn't feel worth it.
Boss, there's something you ought to see.
I'm sorry? HR, what?
HR Geiger will just creepily extend a hand from a back seat with a phone screen and show a text stating that the group has been invited to a public school to educate some children, specifically where all of the missing Ultramon are.
Oh, ho. I think that this Legge is no longer a pertinent interest. Also, it's going to stay frozen there for a week, so... We can come back later.
We'll edit it in post.
Gleep George is on his hands and knees with his head tucked down, trying to push with, his back. And he pauses, quietly weeping.
Return to us, Gleep George. There's other business to attend to.
I think I was moving him a little bit.
You weren't, but, initiative... good show of effort, sort of. Not really.
I'll bring sand back later.
If there is a later, you're hanging by a thread, Gleep George. Anyway, Grumbo, shall we away?
Yes, we shall.
And then I think probably as Gleep George is like getting 1 foot into the van, I'm flooring it. And maybe Gleep George is just like waving like a banner behind the van as I drive into the sunset towards a school.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the Mage playbook in action because that was a playbook that I made and I was like, I'm never going to use this. And then you come in and you're like, I want to be a mage. I'm like, God damn it. All right, let's trial by fire.
I want to make things hard on everyone.
1 second. I'll be back.
Okay, great. I could just sit on this absolute gold mine that I have teed up.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect. Everyone will love it.
I love it already.
Smooth jazz just started playing out of a radio in this room out of nowhere. Oh my God, it started again. I'm pausing it and I'm unplugging it. I'll be back.
I love that it's like...
Get out of here, Smooth Jazz. I don't want you.
It's like forced elevator hold music.
I see nothing wrong with this. This is an absolute win for the production.
If Girl from Ipanema started playing randomly for me, I would lose my mind so quickly. Just dum da dum 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 da dum. That would kill me.
I've killed the music and I don't regret it. What is your Necromon? And as you're chasing the whale, which looks very, very innocent, a little Grumbo's Tips subtitle thing appears and it says, Leggae are very similar to whales, which, while they may look innocent, are ferocious creatures who are prophesized to explode from a volcano and flood the world again someday. That is foreshadowing that I put in a previous episode, and I just want to occasionally remind people that the whale apocalypse is in fact coming.
Next to the little Grumbo's Tips, maybe there's a little like chibi Grumbo winking like animation.
And yet somehow instead of being cute, it's just hot as well. It's a very hot chibi.